Vice Chair Baldwin,
Here.
and Chair Byers.
Here.
Trustee Quinn.
Our next item is the consent calendar. There's items 3.1 and 3.2. Approval of the meeting minutes and written communications.
I move that
One second. And we have to vote.
Okay. Trustee Ellison.
Aye.
Vice Chair Baldwin.
Aye.
Chair Byers.
Aye.
Consent calendar passes.
Our next item is report public comments.
Any public comments?
Okay. Then let's move on to item number 5, presentations.
So I'll give you some updates that we have. We're currently in recruitment. So we have the hourly library aide position currently open. That one's open. Just make sure I got that right.
The eight?
If it's not, it's about to open again.
Did, oh, okay.
Hourly is library associate. Open, closed.
The full-time is open, library associate is not yet.
Okay, that one's way over.
Right, coming.
The full-time, we do have a full-time position we're hiring for due to retirement. So that one's also, and the library associate field. Librarian, we have both hourly and full-time. That one's still open in
The full-time closes.
February, yeah, I know.
We have a lot.
And then librarian 3 closed, we're in the process of doing interviews, and senior librarian open. So that one, senior librarian is a brand new one. It's replacing one of our staff members who are leaving us, so.
Do we know locations?
We tentatively do, but it can always, depending on who we hire, we can shift where we're, where they're at. Obviously, if it's something that their skill set might be needed at one of the other locations, we can go across. Because truthfully, with all the positions, we really try to go for, you work for the system, so you can be anywhere, wherever we need you. Building forward, we had some grant updates last night at council. They awarded the contractors for that bid, which is BN Builders. I keep saying B&B, but it's BN Builders. And so we should be moving within the next 2 weeks. They're gonna probably do a walkthrough, a scan through the facility, and talking about timelines for whether, when we're gonna close, what we're gonna do. Just shifting our services so that we can meet the grant criteria and the deadlines that we have. It is a big, for both Civic and South, a big move forward, because obviously we've been waiting for this for some time. Really excited to see where we're heading next with it. They are gonna go through a design build process, so as much as we have the needs, which are things like HVAC, electrical, plumbing, flooring for the facilities, and in some cases really dire. If you've seen South Library, it's pretty bad. But also too, they're gonna try to meet a lot of our aesthetic needs if they can. We understand, we really just want the infrastructure to be fixed. So there's probably gonna be some decision making here real soon on what that deadline is gonna look like, now that we know who got the contract. So it's really excited they have the contract for both libraries. So, which is a little helpful too, because then we'll be able to kind of control which one's being renovated at what time. Millennia updates, that contract's about to be, I believe, it should be closing soon, if I'm correct. And what it is for the interior of the facility. So we already have the shell of the building built. The interior of the library is going to be built next, and that's within the next 9 months. Truthfully, it's a very different build than we're used to, because it's a concrete pad to concrete pad, so it's not the same thing as building an infrastructure like you would in here. It's very, very different. A lot of it's going to be glass walls that are acoustic paneling and a ton of stuff like that, at least in the original design, so hopefully that moves forward. Cultural arts, I think.
Cultural arts, not many updates, only for Casa Casinos. We have had quite a few programs from the artists and residents there. They've been really successful. And so I invite you to really check out and see what they have over there. It's we're actually a little surprised at the number of people who do show up for the programs because parking is limited there, and right now, it just seems like a lot of people kind of like pass because of the season only because of construction. But we're getting a lot of people who are actually coming to those things. So we have crafts programs, we have, like I said, from the artists and residents themselves, like basics like portraiture or color theory, that kind of thing. Those have been really successful. We're planning to have them, can't believe the residency is about to end, but the residencies are going to end in spring, and then we'll have separate shows for the two artists, one in March and one in April. And then after that, we kind of look back and see what we're going to be doing for the rest of the year. But we do have shows planned out. We are trying to plan as much as we can. Kind of the same situation with happening with Civic and South Library is this, we're kind of dealing with renovations and construction and harden our dust type of situation. And then once Eucalyptus Park is done, I think it really kind of frees us up a little bit more for the program. We are trying to expand the program from Casa Castillas to the libraries as well. So for instance, the portraiture program that was just held there on Saturday was so popular, we're looking at having it at the South Chula Vista Library, so that the South Chula Vista Library community can also enjoy things like programs in that application.
Is it sketching or is it painting?
Sketching.
Oh.
Sketching.
So I was a little curious about that. I actually signed up but didn't go because I got no information beyond you're signed up. And so nothing about if I needed to bring anything, if I, what was going to happen, so I just feedback, I didn't,
Yeah, I'll pass it along.
That's good.
it was.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know.
But if there's, obviously, and I am curious about the color theory and these other things. I saw the portraiture because of one of the council members' communications, but I didn't see anything other than that, so I don't know what the advertising is or what the outreach is for that, but it was like I kind of stumbled on it and then stumbled right back out.
Does the teacher do the ads or do
It's
the
artists.
Artists and residents. That's part of their, that's the agreement that we have with artists. The residency includes teaching things like that, workshops. So that was one of the criteria we used when they
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of exciting to see that.
Was it a live model?
No, there wasn't, I think Melissa just kind of like showed like people.
Oh.
Again, I wasn't there, so I was kind of like seeing photos.
So a couple of branch updates. Since we last seen you, we have security at Civic and South every open hour. So Monday through Sunday, every single day. We have a current contract that we're working on. What will likely happen after that contract, which we're working on with Human Resources, is we previously had a position in the libraries that was like a library visitor assistant. I don't know what we'd be called now, whether it's a library monitor. We're working on that with HR so that we'd be able to hire a person in. But this is helping us at least in an interim while we're working on that process. And they're actually pretty good. We've had great turnout with them. Every single open hour they check in with us. I know our staff have been really grateful to have security walking through. Well, I'll do the two things that I covered actually at council last night. Council last night was actually asked to present during city manager's comments two programs that we've been doing for quite some time. Well, the first one we've been doing for quite some time. Just because of the uniqueness of it was we do a lot of programming for adults with disabilities. In the last year, we probably have had over 1,000 participants in those programs. And it's probably going to ramp up even more this year because we actually moved in January towards a weekly program versus a monthly program. But it's a great way to provide access to the facilities, socialization, independence. We work directly with a lot of their caregivers to see what we do, whether it's a craft. Sometimes we have sensory activities. Sometimes we're showing a movie or we're playing games. But it's a great way. We have about 80 to 90 at these programs. So it's been amazing. So that was one. The second one is about to happen. You'll likely get some info once we have a date. We don't have a date yet for ribbon cutting, but we're gonna open a food pantry here at Civic Center Library. And it's in partnership with Catholic Charities. It'll actually be located on site, and what we'll likely do is have hours that we'll be giving out food, and then some times that we'll have grab and go that you can grab food that is shelf stable. And we did this basically, it was our library, Allison, who's not here, she's on vacation, Will is on vacation. We really saw a need because we have, I know you guys have seen the little food pantry that's out here, it's constantly empty. And what we were also seeing that when we were doing food giveaways and done several of them, it's not who you assume it to be. There's a lot of families in need. As you guys know, the rising costs of groceries has been a hardship for people. So it's kind of neat to see how we can partner and bring more to the community. And we've always been about very relevant services, and so we're really excited for this next venture to kind of see how it's going to start here at Civic Center. We don't know how well it's going to go, and we're kind of going to work it out before we make a decision on moving to South or adding South as a location.
Are you gonna have volunteers?
Yeah.
I'd like to volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, they're always going to, they are looking for volunteers, because I know Allison and I had that conversation. It's going to be volunteers. It's also going to be, some staff during sometimes, at least monitoring. And then obviously Catholic Charities has their own group of volunteers that comes out too. And even if it's just bagging and getting stuff ready,
Where did we find information for that
when it comes out,
Yeah.
we'll actually probably be posting it on the city website as soon as it comes out. We just don't have the official ribbon cutting date, and kind of planning that first food delivery to the branch.
If we have a flyer that we can.
Yeah, we'll send it to you guys,
Yeah.
for
Are
sure.
we able to donate food? Like where would we go for that?
That's a question we're kind of working on right
Yeah.
now. In the past, what they've done is we don't, if we did, I think it would probably go back to like Catholic Charities, and then they would figure out what to do with it. Because the thing is that we don't want to accept is that we get a whole bunch of food that isn't shelf stable or isn't meeting the needs of what they need. So I think what we'll likely do is not start off accepting food donation and kind of figure it out and then go that way.
Yeah.
And they have an opportunity in our contract where we're going to begin with shelf stable. We don't have to do shelf stable. There's an opportunity to do fresh produce, which we've done before during COVID. We gave out fresh produce. But until you get your numbers up, you kind of don't want to do that, because the last thing you want is you have a bunch of fresh stuff that's going to sit here and you want to give it out. Yeah. So we're going to start off with shelf stable and kind of grow from there and see what happens. But I mean, we've seen it several times over with our community that they need it, so I think it's just time to bring it out as a relevant service. And then, what do you? Yeah.
Could I ask a question
Oh, yeah,
about
sure.
your, the programs that you do for
Adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you said you have like 80 to 90 programs. So how many people?
Oh,
show
80,
up?
90 people.
People.
So we
Okay,
did
sorry.
10,
Yeah.
we did like one a month, and it was
Okay.
like 80 to 90 people like
Got
each one. The last one we just had was December, and it was in the center of the library, and there was like 90 people up there.
December we also had the movie.
Yeah,
That
but
was
she,
packed.
yeah.
It was like
Because
wow.
when she did a giveaway, she did a
Yeah.
giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of too. But there's several groups that visit the library on a daily basis. We actually used to have a huge volunteer population that would come, for adults with disabilities, that would come to the library. And I'm gonna take it back old school. For those of you who remember when we used to check out books and we would actually put the date due stamp right onto the book, they would come over and help clean them and like scrape them all off and make the book look nice again. But we obviously don't have that anymore. So the opportunities to volunteer are a lot more limited than they were. There are still a couple groups that volunteer out there, and they'll come out and clean and dust and do things like that, but not to the same extent. I think that back then we really knew those groups, and they would come and actually clean like for the first couple hours in the morning. But there are a minimum, in this location alone, I probably have seen 6 different groups that come over here on a daily basis.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, even like in my early library years, we would see these groups come in, and they would just kind of pass through the library. And this is a different library, but they would just pass through, and it was always kind of like, what do we do with this population?
Yeah.
It's like, and so it's interesting because at the California Library Association, conference I went to in fall, someone presented this whole thing about like, oh, this was like a revelation to us to kind of like, these all these like these adult groups coming in, what do we do with it? Let's get programming. And it's funny how we've just kind of been, you know, I kind of had to laugh to like, and so like, yeah, we have like 90.
Yeah, we,
so like, you know,
we were doing it
it
without
was
like,
kind of natural that for us to kind of like to do it. And so we do have to credit some of our staff members who did take the
Yeah.
initiative to do that. Darlene Trujillo is the one who's really kind of spearheaded a lot of it. So
well, there was
kudos to
also, it also occurred to because they were wanting to book some of the conference rooms and show a movie. But you kind of can't do that under licensing. We can, because we actually purchased a movie license, right, to show movies. But when we know that you're kind of doing a showing, then it actually goes against what the rules are for using the conference room. So what we did was have a real conversation with them and said, well, if that's really a program you're looking for, then let's have a conversation on what we could be doing on a larger scale to show it to anyone that comes in. And that's been the success. They've had one every single week this month. So we'll see what else comes of it. And I think it's just a program that's going to probably continue. Okay.
I'll start with book match first and then we'll
Okay.
end on,
Because it's exciting.
yes. So, I've already talked about this, I believe the last few times we talked about book matching, the service that we have where, you send us some of the books you like or things that you like and we give you some book recommendations. We kind of just put it out there without really advertising, in the last probably month or so. We've gotten a pretty decent amount. We've had about 40 to 50 requests. And so the staff have been able to train, particularly at the South Branch, to work on getting those recommendations out as quickly as we can. So we are going to formally roll it out in February to go with Valentine's Day. So find your book match. And then we're also going to do blind date with a book at the South Branch where we have books that are covered and then you have like just a little kind of
Blurb.
snippet or blurb of what the book may be and you don't know what it is and you take it home. So we're going to pair those together. So feel free to look into that.
I was showing Diana this really creative program that one of the other libraries that I've seen did. And it's very similar to DoorDash, except it's called Book Dash. And you come in and there's like a bunch of paper bags and it looks like the book of the DoorDash receipt on the front. But all it says is like, instead of like your name, it says fiction and then it'll like give like 3 things about the book and it's like receipts.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can
I've
check
seen
it out.
that, yeah.
I was like, that's so cute.
That's cute. I saw a book club where they wrap the book
Yeah,
and then they
that's-
put little clues.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
That's what she does for blind date
That's
with the
what
book.
we're doing.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
So if you know, we want you to follow up with reading again, if maybe you're in a slump, if you don't know what to read next, and you want us to give you some recommendations. We have professional librarians that are doing that for the community. So it is on the front page of our website. So please feel free to. It's available now, but we will start the blind date with a book in February.
cool.
The full marketing of it.
And then since we didn't meet last month, I know that I always talk about animal care because
We do a lot.
it's very near and dear to us. And so I wanted to update you on our angel tree. So we did at the South Branch, this is our third angel tree that we posted. And the community really showed up this year. I did take a little vacation and Mara, the branch manager there, sent me, I left right before and I saw we had, you'll see the video, all the donations that the community came out, they picked ornaments and sponsored a pet from the shelter. And we received donations up until probably last week. I bought 3 carts to the shelter. And that doesn't include the donations that went straight to the shelter that we don't even know about, but they received a lot through them. So this is a little snippet of what the animal care posted, and then also we had an activity, as you know, we do a story time with animal care. They come to the South Branch the 4th Wednesday of every month, which is a very popular story time.
So, like Diana explained, one of the things that we do is put up ornaments of like the dogs and then on the back it says what the dogs need. And like she was explaining too, how you don't have to bring us the stuff, you can actually ship it directly to Animal Care and take it. But the funnier part with her staff that she's not saying is they continuously had to replace the ornaments. Like there was like none. Every single time I tell her like, Diana, can you bring me two dog ornaments so that I can do it? And she's like, there's nothing on the tree. So her staff was constantly like turning out these ornaments so that we could get more. Because people grabbed them the minute that they put it on the tree. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting to see what they received because of it.
And it's twofold too, because it just brings exposure. And there's even staff that didn't know we have a shelter in Chula Vista and they're looking to adopt. But also everything's expensive even for pets. And so we wanted to be able to provide for them. They're one of our community partners. So here's a result of our angel tree.
Questions?
So our favorite thing is finally here is finding about all of the amazing gifts from our angel tree. Every year, the Chula Vista Library hosts an angel tree to support all of the animals at our shelter. From toys to treats to enrichment items, our pets were really spoiled this year, all thanks to our amazing community. Chocolate like to be difficult for the animals, but small toys like these help to keep their hopes up that their forever family will find them. It's so much fun to see the animals pick out their favorites, enjoy the good food, and receive from their angel tree. Some of them were even trying to become one, like we feel like really good. From the bottom of our hearts, we would like to thank everyone that donated to the angel tree this year. These are only a few of the many animals that were able to receive something special for Christmas this year, thanks to all of you. Not a single pet was left out, including our senior cat, Eloise, who enjoyed a delicious snack. If you'd like to learn more about how you can be a shelter hero all year round, visit our website at www.cbacpet.org.
It's almost done. And now it's tempered out. But that was round one.
Wow.
That wasn't even the total.
Because it provides enrichment for them as well, for the animals.
It's exciting because it's only been our third year and that's our turnout for 3 years. Like we've really grown that one, which is a good way. I mean, I know Diana and them are very humble, and we have a very good turnout and getting people getting animals adopted that come to Story Hour. So it's really exciting to see that.
Is it only at the South Branch or is it?
The tree itself is only at the South Branch, but anyone could donate at any of the locations,
Yeah.
the library locations or classic.
We love to grow it, but it also takes a lot of ornaments, as we learned. A lot of ornaments.
Are they just the wooden ornaments?
No, they're actually paper.
Just paper, I could bring it next time, but it just features one of the animals and then on the back, is a list.
There's only one shelter?
Yeah.
For children, yes.
The county has a shelter.
Bonita.
Anything else, guys? Yeah.
So we're on staff comments.
So last night, City Council voted to direct city staff to create an ordinance that's going to change the seats on this board of trustees, from at-large appointed, general appointment process to more of a district-based nomination process for the seats. That won't affect any of your current terms. Everybody gets to finish out their term with no change in that respect. It'll just be as people become eligible for, or their term ends and either vacancies come available or people are looking to be reappointed for another term. At this point, council has just asked city staff, the clerk's office, and our office of the city attorney to work on workshopping an ordinance, and then it'll go back to council and they'll fine tune it along the way. But I just wanted to let you guys know because the Board of Trustees is one of the few that is making that change. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So my term is sometime this year. So you will set it up as a district now, and so I would have to live in that district for my seat.
You know, I'm not totally sure exactly how they're going, if they're gonna require residency within that individual district. All of that is still very tentative, very much in the works. Like I said, it just, the vote from the city council was last night, so.
Yeah, I know. And you don't know everything yet.
I wish you did. But as information becomes available, I will of course let you guys know.
Have
I'm
you-
sorry,
Have you, do we need for him to submit a comment card
Can't
for
really.
public comment?
I mean, the chair can address me if she wants.
Is that accurate?
I mean, not totally, but
Okay, then I'm not going to, I'm sorry, I need to go with what you guys need to do. I do have some questions. I saw that on, I don't know if you all received
I
the
did
email.
receive that.
Okay, I did provide public comment, stating two things. One, I wasn't sure what problem the council was trying to resolve, because I didn't know that there was a problem. And two, that this didn't come to the boards ahead of the council so that we could provide some kind of input. To me, that indicates a disinterest in what we might have had to say about that. And so that's something that I'm going to state up front, since you opened the door, I'm gonna jump in. And the other piece is, I don't think that that I saw any kind of consideration for, how boards are currently filled, and I'll use myself as an example. When I was appointed, when I applied, the vacancy had been open for about a year. And so I applied, I feel fortunate that I was selected, but I'm well aware that there weren't people lining up to come into this board. So putting restrictions on how people come into a board that's not always usually filled seems at odds with a reality. So, which leads me to, I think that it would be helpful for the city, whoever is going to try and develop these rules and regulations for us, to get some input from us as the people who are representing the community. So I don't know how that works within the city, but I think that to me, that would be a good first step, since they bypassed us initially. I think now would be a good time to come to us and say, what do you think? How do you think your board should be filled? Sorry to dump that on you, but you're here.
No, not at all. So just so you know, the city council is able to put anything on the agenda that they choose, so They didn't necessarily need to wait and run things past boards and commissions before having that discussion agendized and then having it last night. That being said, it sounds like you have some very well thought out points, and I encourage anyone who has thoughts, comments on any of this to go to your next city council meeting and address the council further.
Okay. And I'm willing to do that. I think I would ask my fellow board members, and I don't know that we can do that within staff comments, but if I go, I would like to have your support for that so that I can say, it's not just me as the road board member showing up to make comment.
I agree with your point, because the way I was appointed was through the mayor after I gave public comment for my club. And so I am a little bit confused on how people are gonna be placed in here, because people have applied and then I was appointed, but I didn't necessarily apply for the position. I just received a certificate of appointment for the board. And so I'm sort of curious if people are just going to be like kind of randomly based, or is it going to be more of the district thing that you said?
So your position is a little more complicated as the youth at large, because you're a youth member of the board instead of like a regular voting member. For the regular voting members, the current process is that the mayor appoints and city council confirms all positions. So the mayor, you'll apply online or however the application process works, you'll apply. The mayor will appoint, and then that is placed on the agenda, and the council as a whole votes to affirm that decision. When they, if and when they move towards this district option, it would be more of a situation where individual council members will recommend or nominate, I should say, individuals from their district. And instead of it just being the mayor, it will be individual council members from their district nominating individuals. And then that will be placed on the agenda and confirmed by council.
So there will be no more applications from
No.
people at large?
No, there will. It will
Oh.
just be, instead of just all being, my understanding at this time, and that could change because council hasn't hammered out all the details. My understanding of council's, direction to staff at this time is that they're thinking when an application is submitted, instead of just going into one big pot for board of trustees, it will go into a pot slated for District 1, District 2.
So our group would be representative of each district instead of two district, or, I mean, I know I'm in District 2. And I think the majority of people here are on this side of Chula Vista.
I think that is council's vote. If they transition to the district setup, that is how that would work.
Is that the problem we're trying to solve? I'm because I'm in District 2 as well. But I'm gonna go back to what's the issue? Did you get a sense of that? Because as I read through that, I couldn't find an issue.
So my understanding based on last night's city council meeting is that council would like to make sure that their boards and commissions represent all areas of Chula Vista. They would like individual city council members to have a greater hand in selecting and nominating individuals to be on boards and commissions instead of it lying only with the mayor. Of the elected official within the area in which he's set will have a greater ability to nominate.
And if no one from that area submits an application?
Great question that I will.
I mean, then what? Then we run short. I'm sorry. I'm not upset with you, but I really have some concerns about this. And I understand that the council can place anything on the agenda that they wish. This appeared to come from staff. So where, at least the way I read that, it didn't look like it wasn't prefaced with at the direction of council, if I recall correctly. So, was it? Then I apologize. But but I guess I still am gonna go back to, that doesn't, it did not seem to preclude coming to the boards and commissions first and saying, do you have some input on this? That concerns me.
Like I said, it sounds like you have some really thought out, comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, and I think that the best course of action would be to take it directly to the city council and let them know your concerns, let them know that you would like the process from now on to be more interactive, and you can do that with those private citizens, and by a majority vote, you can speak to, like, on behalf of this board.
Is it a quick, can we take that out now?
Sure.
So my proposal would be that one of us doesn't necessarily have to be, that one of us attend the next city council meeting, and that person speak on behalf of our board and express the concerns that we have about this process.
The second
Motion?
Yeah, so what you do is you get consensus for something like that. So I have recorded it as, I'm assuming this is under chair comments now because you've kind of moved on that past.
Well,
Or unless you're doing that.
we opened up in
Oh, we're still,
staff.
okay. Yeah, I know where we are.
And I know I've been talking a lot in staff comments.
Yeah, no.
Segue over to.
When is the next city council meeting?
It's about
2 weeks from yesterday, so I believe it's,
You can, but it's like,
it should be February 3rd.
And does it have to be on the agenda for her to be able to speak about it?
Public comment.
yeah.
I can do this in public comment. So I'll say, and I'm happy to do it if you, unless maybe feel strongly enough.
Okay, that'd be good. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so.
So I know that there's a 3-minute time limit for public comment. I believe I should be able to do this within 3 minutes, but if someone comes with me, you can fill out a comment card and donate your 3 minutes
To you?
to me. Okay.
I will come.
Correct. I've had that happen, I've seen that happen before, so I'm not going to.
I don't know how it works, but.
I'm not totally certain, but if you've seen it happen before,
Yes, so I just, 6 minutes is way too much, but 3 minutes.
Okay.
So if we have comments to share with trustee buyers, can we do that on an email, like a private email to each other, or do we need to gather information for her to present, do we have to have our own forum, or?
Because we're not really ready to get together outside of here, right, to discuss things.
Yeah, that's.
And I think if we did it, it would be a sequence of my own.
Yeah, because the three of you is, yeah,
is
it's
it for,
it's a forum.
so, yeah, I think if you would like to have a little bit of a discussion right now and decide on that, and then otherwise, if you'd like to send comments, questions, concerns over to her and.
Okay.
We are under chairs and trustees' comments.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so let's, I wanted to do the
Record this.
actual
Yeah.
vote, because I wasn't sure, like,
Yes.
what are specifically, so you're, what was the action? That,
So
are you
what-
speaking?
Yeah, she's gonna speak.
I will speak at the next
Okay.
city council meeting on behalf of the library board.
Also on behalf of the board of trustees. Okay, and who made the motion?
She made the motion and I
Okay.
seconded it.
All right, and I'll just take the vote. Trustee Ellison?
Aye.
Vice Chair Holler?
Aye.
And Chair Myers?
Aye. Have we had it? Do we have any additional staff comments? I do have one other, topic under chair's comments. It's maybe for our next meeting, I would like to have a discussion about how this board might want to support, the budget process for the library. We've had a conversation a couple of times about how the per person funding for the libraries is way under what the county averages, and I would like to put on to the next agenda, a conversation about what, as a board, what we can do to hopefully impact the budget process for increasing the budget for the library.
Would something like that, going to the budget meetings and speaking on behalf of the library, or can, I'm not quite sure how your budget process works.
That is the main way to do it. But there's different ways to do it. I mean, from my conversations with the clerks is that there's different ways to do it. That's one. Another is public comment again, the council meeting. There is also the option that I'm not too familiar with this one. It's memo to council. That's something to explore. That actually will go to the council members as something for them to kind of consider. But as an agenda item, I know there is a slot there, I think already in my agenda templates where board of commissions can speak, but it's not often used on this side of especially.
Those are primarily for the annual reports that boards and commissions have. I think most likely the memo option is the best way for the board to get its written points across to council, because you can write it out, everyone can look at it, you can vote and approve it, and then it will go to council. But of course, also attending the meeting is invaluable.
So if we can have it be a conversation about which of those options we might want to consider. I think that would be, for me, I would like to have a conversation.
So, and all this process has to be done at these meetings. We can't, like, we would actually have to write that memo here in order to approve it before we send it out, or?
You can kind of discuss amongst yourselves in the meeting who you would like to write the first draft, and then we can have discussion at the next meeting about that draft, changes you'd like to see, additions, revisions in that respect. But generally, one person could write it, and then you guys give input. It doesn't have to be physically written during the meeting.
Okay. Makes sense.
That's what I was thinking. If we start next month, we might
Might
be done in time for the budget.
Yeah, and the budget meetings are in April,
Yeah.
so you actually can do this.
So we should bring our ideas for the next meeting and then submit them to Chair Myers. And
I
then she
think
can
when the
compile
item,
everything.
I think it will be an agenda item,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
And
it
then,
will.
and that,
Prompt discussion.
yes. Are there any additional